Oh my gosh. Hey everyone, David here with TV Chef. Today in this video, we're going to be checking out the Insignia Fire TV Edition 24-inch LED TV that's 720p for a resolution. We did purchase this TV ourselves, and any opinion expressed in this video is strictly our own. That being said, if you're interested in this product, you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. You can see the nice retail box and packaging right here walking us through some of the key features. This is a smart TV powered by Amazon's Fire TV OS, which enables all of our favorite streaming apps, channels, and services. It also comes equipped with a remote control that has Alexa built in. And you can see on the back, we have some of our dimensions and tech specs for you. Now let's go ahead, let's open it up and look at the contents. Here are all the contents. First up, you can see we have our safety information followed by our quick start guide available in multiple languages, walking us through everything we need to know about how to properly set up our TV. You can see it from the other side too, walking us through some of the voice remote features with Alexa. Next up, you can see we have our legs right here for our TV stand. We have our voice remote. Take a look at the included streaming channels. We have Prime Video, Netflix, Disney Plus, and Hulu. Great options there. We have our 4 screws for our stand. 2 included AAA batteries for our remote control. And last but not least, you can see we have the TV itself. Let's go ahead, let's look at that in more detail. Looking at the TV from the backside, you can see we have our 100 by 100 VESA mount, integrated power cable. We have all of our I/O options right here. So we have an Ethernet port, we have our AV, we have our antenna, as well as our cable connector. If we look at it from this side, you can see we have multiple HDMI ports, a USB port, we have optical audio, and a headphone jack. Bringing it around to the top, you can see how thick this TV is. Get a feel for it right there. We'll flip it upside down as well too, so you can see our power button right here. Everything looks nice. And now we can look at it from the front of the TV, so check that out. 24 inches measured diagonally. We have our Insignia logo and branding front and center, and our energy guide sticker showing a rough cost of $6 per year. So now let's go ahead, let's get the stand installed. Stand installation is very simple and straightforward. So on the bottom of the TV, you can see we have the 2 spots for our support legs. And based on their shape, they're only gonna fit one way in there. So you can see we can place them in again. They're not gonna go that way. It's only gonna go one way. So with that in place, now we're ready to take 2 screws for each leg, drop them in place and tighten them down. So now you can see we got both legs installed right here and we can stand the TV up. Check that out. Everything looks great with the stand installed. Now let's go ahead and power it on. So you can see we have the TV plugged in and powered on. First up, we can choose our language. Next, you can see it's going to scan for Wi-Fi network. So we can go ahead and we can select our network, or we can do it later. So choose your network and then enter your password. Now you can see it's working on connecting to our network. Now you can see it's updating our Fire TV. So we just finished our update and you can see the next screen we're at where we need to select our experience. We have the full experience or the basic experience. You can see what's included with the full experience: live TV, thousands of channels and apps, 1 million movies and TV episodes. We have voice control and search with our Alexa devices, and we need to sign in or sign up for a free Amazon account. Or we could choose the basic option if we want. We get 5 streaming apps right here and live TV access. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna set up the full experience. So we're gonna select that. And now you can see at this screen, we're ready to either create an account or sign in. So there we go. We just signed in with our mobile device. We registered our account and it's finishing up right now. You can see we have everything right here. This TV will be registered to your account. We can change account or we can select continue. So let's select continue. Next up, you can see with the option to enable parental controls or turn them off. So choose accordingly depending on your needs and preferences. Next up, we're prompted to a world of kid-friendly content. We can start a free trial or we can decline. Now we're at this screen where we're ready to choose our streaming services. So let's select get started. And now you can see, you can choose which services you want. So in this case, let's choose Hulu, Disney Plus, and then you can see we have other options right here, tons of different services. We'll snag ESPN there. Okay, and we'll do Fox Sports. How about that? So that's the services that we want. Now let's go ahead and let's press our play pause button to continue on. So here we go. We're going to add these to our home screen. And now we have this screen where it's introducing us to the all-new Fire TV experience. So let's select Got It. And now we're taken to this screen where we can create more profiles, but in this case, that's fine. We're going to select our Amazon profile right here. And now you can see we're taken to our home screen. Let's go ahead. Let's look at this in more detail. So first up, you can see on our menu bar, we have our profile section. Next, we have our inputs. Really easy to navigate and choose the correct input. Next up is our home section with tons of different tiles depending on previously and recently watched, recommendations, sponsored content. You get the feel for that. Then we have a find section, so we can use voice search. We can browse different tiles, free movies, app store. You get the idea here. You can browse by category. Then we have our live section, depending on the service provider you want to use. You can see the different options right here. We can scan for channels too if we connect an antenna. Then you can see we have our most popular apps. We can go over and then we can actually select to view all of our apps. And then we have our settings gear icon. Let's go ahead, let's select that. And you can see with the settings selected, all the different options we have: our inputs, notifications, account and profile settings, our network, display and sounds. We can do our voice controls, live TV, equipment control, applications, preferences, sleep timer. So you can see our device and software settings, accessibility tools, and a help section. So everything's really easy to find and navigate. That's it for your menu settings. Now let's go ahead, let's try out the TV. So we just did a live TV scan. We found over 20 channels, which is surprising to me given the fact that we're in our studio right here in the area where I'm located. It just doesn't have the best over-the-air signals. But you can see we're in the live TV tab. And now we have previews of our local channels: WLWT, WCPO, PBS, Fox 19. So check that out. Let's go ahead, let's select one. So here's Fox 19. Let's go ahead, let's browse and see. So it's loading right here. Cool, check out how everything looks. Again, this is 720p 60 hertz for 24 inches. It's not bad. It's definitely good enough for what you're getting in the value of this TV. But you can see everything right there. It's pretty cool. Now let's go ahead, let's just go to the next channel. And the next one. Very responsive. You can see some black and white, old school TV. Ion television right here. So everything's working great with live TV. That'll just vary depending on the signal strength in your area and your antenna. But if you do get signal, you'll be very happy with the picture quality on this TV. And I was pleasantly surprised with how many channels we got on our TV right at this spot. Now we got a YouTube video pulled up so you can see what it's like to stream some content to this TV. So let's go ahead, let's give it a watch. Download, and you can see 23 for our upload. All the popular apps you would expect to use today, like Chrome, Google Maps, Netflix, Spotify, YouTube, Zoom, get the awesome rating. That's the best rating you can get. So you're not going to have any issues using the Google Pixel 6 Pro and the Verizon network, the US mobile network, and their 5G. Speaker quality isn't that bad. You can see we're adjusting the volume. It sounds pretty good given the price point of this TV. And at 720p, you may have noticed we're not having any issues at all with our streaming of this content connected to our Wi-Fi network. Everything looks really clear and crisp, and it's working great. So this is what you can expect when you're watching and streaming content on this TV. Now you can see we have a binaural microphone set up here to capture the TV speaker quality, so you guys can hear how this TV sounds like you were here in the studio with me. So currently we have it set to 20. Let's go ahead, let's give it a listen.
Eczema or atopic dermatitis under control.
Hide my skin, not me.
By hitting eczema where it counts, Dupixent helps heal your skin.
Now we're at 25.
Keeping you one step ahead of eczema.
Hide my skin, not me.
And that means long-lasting, clearer skin and fast itch relief.
So you can get a feel for how everything sounds there. We could go ahead, we could turn it all the way up to 100 if we want, but I don't want the microphone to clip. But actually, for a TV at this price, the speakers are definitely on the better side. They're a little fuller than I was anticipating with the sound. A lot of times at this price point for a TV this size, they're very empty and lacking. And I'm not saying there isn't room for improvement, but it actually was a pretty enjoyable experience to listen with the built-in speaker. So if you do want to have this, maybe as a second TV, a casual TV monitor, kids' room, just to play some games on, they'll be good enough, but you can't go wrong if you do want to supplement them with some surround sound speakers. Now it's time to test out the voice remote. You're just going to go ahead, you're going to press and hold the microphone button at the top of your remote if you want to use voice commands. So watch what happens as we try it out. Mute the TV. There we go. You can see it just muted it. Change volume to 50. There we go. Change volume to 20. You can see very, very responsive. Open Amazon Live Shopping app. Check that out. How cool is that? You can open apps on the TV as well. And you can see once it loads, it's going to start playing some shoppable content for us. So really convenient feature to have built in your remote control, especially if you don't want to physically press the buttons or the navigational keys and arrows to get where you want. You can just hold down one button and issue a voice command, and chances are it will be able to do it. Now you can see we're doing a little gaming on the TV, so check it out right here. This is our 720p resolution at 60 hertz. So you can see how everything looks right here with Fortnite. We have the epic settings turned on. I'm gonna move back and forth a bunch so you get a feel for how the screen's handling and processing all that really crazy movement right here. Got him! With this, whatever, the hammer. Let's go, baby. Come on, I don't have the right gun. Got him! Oh my gosh. Got him. Got him. Got him. Got him. Let's go, baby. It's all because of the TV. So let me share with you my final thoughts after using this TV. First, if you're already involved in the Amazon or Alexa ecosystem, you're really gonna enjoy this experience. I wouldn't recommend a TV that doesn't either use Fire TV, Android TV, or Roku. Those are gonna be the options and the main choices today. You don't really wanna use a TV manufacturer's operating system. Honestly, they're just not as good. We have a wide app selection variety thanks to our Fire TV. It's very simple and easy to use. Your kids can use it, navigate. You can use it, your parents, grandparents, that sort of thing. Anybody will be able to find what they're looking for. Everything's readily accessible. So easy to use interface, definitely a good option there. Also, the value add is that we not only have a remote control that gives you, 4 dedicated streaming channel buttons that actually have the streaming channels people use, but we actually have the voice remote control, which is cool. And again, that's a solid value add right there. In regards to the ports and IO, they do a great job. I'd say this is very port rich compared to some other options on the market today. Multiple HDMI ports, USB. I really like that we have an Ethernet port on there. I think that's a pretty big deal, but it does have Wi-Fi as well. Now, with that being said, there are a couple things I'd want to see improved. The first and biggest one is I really wish this had 1080p. That would make this an incredible deal versus just a good choice or option. But this is a 720p TV, and in 2021, that's disappointing, but I will digress and say that it is good enough, as you could see in this video. It's not going to be a stumbling block for most people. At this screen size, with all the other specs, it is good enough. So I see why they're doing it, but it would be really nice if this came at the same price for 1080p. Other than that, I had a couple of issues when I was setting the TV up. It just seemed like it was going to sleep or restarting. And so that was a little bit annoying, but typically once it rebooted, it went back to the screen that it was at, almost like it was trying to authorize or check an account in the background. I don't really know what's going on, but that took a couple extra minutes to set up. But after that hiccup, I haven't had any issues. This is mostly an opinion, but I'm coming from the Roku operating system. That's my favorite one that I use on my primary TVs. And with the Fire TV, I just feel like it's a little bit more cluttered. So if we go back to the home page, it's super easy to navigate and use, but I just like the simplicity of the Roku TV. The apps are just laid out, and I think it just makes a little bit more sense, but this is very similar, I'd say, closer to your Android TV experience, or even kind of looks like the Netflix app, right? So you kind of get a feel for that. They're all very similar, and again, they're easy enough to navigate, but for my own personal preferences, I still like the UI design a little bit better on the Roku. I think it's just slightly easier to navigate. But overall, it's a solid choice, especially if you're deeply ingrained in the Amazon or Alexa ecosystem. You will really enjoy your experience with this TV.